Welcome back, everyone. Childhood obesity right now is all over the news, with everyone from the First Lady to Dr. Oz talking about this important topic. We've focused on it a lot here on the 11 as well as on our 4. Today, we're talking with our life coach, Pat Barone of Catalyst Coaching, about how parents can possibly help their child tackle a weight problem and do it together as a family. Pat, thanks for joining us. Yeah. Okay, so this is a topic that you are an expert in, both through practical experience as well as training. You work with a lot of clients in this area. If you are going to counsel some parents on how to help their kids or what to say, where would you start?
Well, you know, it's tender territory.
Absolutely.
It's really one of those areas where you want to develop a healthy relationship with food and your children, and you want them to have a healthy relationship there. But you have to tread very lightly, and you have to keep in mind that children are very, very sensitive. And you can do a lot of damage at this age when they're children if you try to restrict or withhold food or that kind of thing. So you want to never, ever, ever put a child on a diet. So,
and yo-yoing and different diets, there are studies that say doing that is almost worse than just staying at their current weight?
Right. The Journal of Obesity in late 2008 published a very extensive study that said there's a lot more cardiovascular disease with people who yo-yo their weight. They diet restrictively, too restrictively, and then they gain the weight back very quickly. So you want to avoid the diets, and you want to avoid setting kids up on diets. My mother put me on my first diet when I was 10. It took me 30 years of being overweight to figure that out. So it can be quite damaging, like I said.
So you have some advice, some specific points, and these deal mainly with food. Exercise, obviously, is one of the most important things that you can get your kids out to do. And we actually are starting a special focus on getting your kids outside and back to nature and exercise at 4. But right now, focusing on food, helping kids develop a healthy relationship. First point you want to make is teach kids that food is fuel.
Right. Help them notice what fuels them and what doesn't. If they've been at a birthday party and they've had a lot of sugar, you know, quietly and, you know, kind of subtly, let them point out that they may feel tired or crabby or moody. You know, notice those kinds of things and point them out when you see them.
And I'm going to run through these, and I want you to emphasize healthy food, because we've already seen some of these on the screen. Build a lunch.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
You know, build a lunch is letting kids build their own lunch. You have all of the ingredients there and things ready, but they can choose.
Cut the connection between food and reward.
That is a big one, because if they come home with a great report card or they clean their room and you immediately go to the ice cream, then you're setting up a connection there that food is a reward. That's the time to jump up and down, take a walk around the block, lots of hugs, but not food.
Okay. Don't use food for comfort. Model positive behavior, always a big one, and make changes gradually and confidentially. What would the last most important point you want to make to parents?
That number 7 is very important. I had no problem with Michelle Obama talking about, you know, wanting to change her family's diet. But when she talked about her daughter's weight on national TV, that I think is breaching confidentiality. You want to make changes in a positive and subtle way, just by introducing more and more healthy foods without, you know, going the full diet routine or attaching any kind of shame to a person's weight.
Okay.
Very important when children are young.
And a huge discussion a lot of families are having right now, so no pun intended there. But I mean, like, a very important topic. So, Pat, thank you very much for your time and your advice and your insights. And we'll post this interview as well as some more information from Pat online at NBC15.com. Thanks again. We'll be right back.